Somewhere out there in the universe, an undetectable wave is racing through space at the speed of light. We have no idea where it's going, but one thing is certain. The universe is far more dangerous than we ever imagined. Recently, scientists identified 10 cosmic threats capable of wiping out humanity so suddenly that we wouldn't even understand what happened. And today, we're taking a look at those threats. At the silent regions of space where we expect aliens to be, at the stars that fire death rays across galaxies, and at the edge of reality where the laws of physics begin to fail. If you've ever wondered why astronomers can't sleep at night, grab a seat because we're about to unlock the secrets of the universe. Empty streets of the galaxy. We live in a massive galaxy containing 400 billion stars. Yet, not once have we received a clear hello from another civilization. This silence, according to scientists, is more unsettling than any supernova. Because when you look at the numbers, it feels impossible that we're alone. Our galaxy is 13 billion years old. In that time, countless worlds should have developed intelligent life. Even if only one in a million stars hosted an advanced civilization, there should be 400,000 technological societies in our galaxy right now. So where are they? It's like walking into a gigantic metropolis at night and finding every street completely empty. It gives you chills, the feeling that something has gone terribly wrong. This mystery is known as the Fermi Paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi's infamous question, where is everybody? Some believe we truly are alone, but there's an even more disturbing possibility. What if civilizations do emerge, but all of them disappear before reaching the stars? A cosmic graveyard. Maybe the silence isn't emptiness. Maybe it's a graveyard. Maybe countless civilizations looked up at their skies and said, "We're ready," but something wiped them out before their voices ever grew loud enough to be noticed. And today, its evidence grows that this silence is no coincidence. There is something out there, something that destroys civilizations, and we need to understand what it is before it finds us too. The Great Filter, a deadly crossroad. Picture the universe as a minefield. Every civilization must walk through it, but the mines are invisible and the map keeps changing. Scientists call this unknown barrier the Great Filter. According to this theory, at some point, after planets form, after life begins, or after intelligence rises, civilizations hit a deadly stage that almost none can survive. It's as if the universe has a built-in quality control system. Failures vanish on silent, forgotten worlds. Only a few lucky species make it through.
And us? We might be one of the lucky ones. Or we may not have reached the filter yet. That is the question that terrifies scientists. Have we passed the Great Filter, or are we walking straight toward it? Maybe the darkness is only beginning. We've survived countless catastrophes. We adapted, evolved, endured. But as our technology grows, so does the danger. Maybe the filter is a volcanic nightmare, maybe a gamma ray burst, maybe climate collapse. Maybe the moment a species becomes powerful enough to destroy itself. Who knows? The universe might be telling us something in its silence. Perhaps every civilization makes the same mistake. Civilization's breaking point. Maybe every intelligent species reaches a moment where their technologies become so powerful that continuing to exist becomes mathematically impossible. Maybe intelligence isn't a gift, but an evolutionary dead end. Maybe every advanced species burns out like a firefly, sizzling in its own light. The silence from space may not be saying, "No one is out there." It might be saying, "Everyone was out there, but they all vanished too soon." And right now, we stand on that same razor-thin line. We are building technologies that could carry us to the stars, but also technologies powerful enough to end everything. Astronomers lose sleep over one simple question: where are we on the Great Filter? Earth's own lost civilizations across laboratories worldwide are searching for answers, but they are not studying alien civilizations. They are studying the species that lived on Earth long before us and failed their own tests. 99% of all species that ever lived are now extinct. Not because they were weak. Most were strong, adaptable creatures that dominated Earth for millions of years. Until one day, change came, and they couldn't keep up. If Earth is a testing ground for the Great Filter, the result is clear. Survival is the exception. Extinction is the rule. The best example is the Permian extinction, the closest Earth ever came to becoming completely sterile. Volcanic eruptions in Siberia released so much carbon dioxide that the world turned into an oven. The oceans became acidic death traps. 96% of marine species and 70% of land species vanished. Life survived by the thinnest margin imaginable. And the most terrifying part? There was no asteroid, no alien invasion. Earth destroyed itself. Natural processes spiraled out of control and nearly wiped out every living thing.
But what if we're creating our own Permian extinction? Today, we too are altering the air, the oceans, the climate. The gases we've pumped into the atmosphere since the industrial age are now approaching the levels once produced by ancient volcanic eruptions. The oceans are changing, ecosystems are collapsing, and millions of species are disappearing. Most scientists now call this the sixth mass extinction, and one haunting question rises. Could environmental collapse be the invisible filter that destroys civilizations? Maybe every intelligent species is like bacteria inside a petri dish, multiplying, spreading, and eventually poisoning its own environment with its own waste. And by the time they realize what they've done, it's already too late. We might be standing at that same crossroads right now. We're measuring the planet, watching it change, and asking ourselves every day, are we succeeding this time, or are we repeating the same fatal mistake?
The invisible face of the universe. But perhaps the danger waiting for us is not just one we created. Maybe something darker, something hidden has already taken control. Just think about it. 85% of the universe is completely invisible. It emits no light. It reflects no light. We cannot touch it or interact with it. We know it exists only because of its gravity. This is not a joke. It's one of the most disturbing truths that keeps cosmologists awake at night. For centuries, we believed we understood physics. We wrote equations, built laboratories, created machines. We thought we understood the universe. And then one day we learned everything we understand makes up only 15% of reality. The remaining 85%? Undefined, invisible, incomprehensible. It's like trying to understand a massive city by looking only at the streetlights, while the buildings, the roads, the people, the entire city are hidden behind an impenetrable fog. We see the lights, but not the city itself. Dark matter is that fog, and it may very well be the true owner of the universe, living among an unseen universe.
Humanity has been making the same mistake since the beginning of civilization. We focus only on the visible tip of reality, while completely missing the vast hidden structure beneath it. Most of the universe is built on an invisible web called dark matter, and this web may be far more terrifying than we imagine. Right now, as you read these words, millions of dark matter particles are passing through your body, through the Earth, through the entire solar system, leaving no trace. We live in a universe built upon an invisible skeleton. We cannot control it. We cannot predict it. We cannot even see it. And perhaps dark matter isn't just matter. Maybe it moves. Maybe it shifts shape. Maybe it forms colossal structures. Maybe it creates patterns and systems on scales we cannot perceive. The thought that keeps scientists awake at night is this: what if dark matter isn't just matter? What if it's a system, a structure, an organism? What if we are nothing more than microbes drifting in a dark cosmic ocean? Maybe the universe is governed by an unseen intelligence we cannot detect, and we are simply too small, too slow, and too blind to understand it.
The universe's invisible suicide, dark energy. But dark matter is only the beginning. The real nightmare hides within dark energy. This force, which makes up 70% of the entire universe, behaves as if an infinite hand is determined to tear the cosmos apart. For decades, astronomers believed the universe's expansion was slowing down, because logically, that's what should happen. Something that explodes eventually stops. Gravity should pull everything back together. But when the measurements came in, jaws dropped. The universe wasn't slowing down, it was speeding up. Something invisible was constantly pushing galaxies away from each other. This force was named dark energy. But even the word energy fails to describe it. It doesn't weaken, it doesn't dilute, it doesn't interact. It only grows. And the more it grows, the stronger it becomes. It's as if the universe is filled with a poison that slowly tears itself apart. Follow this process to its end, and the result is terrifying. If dark energy continues to strengthen, galaxy clusters will drift apart. Then galaxies themselves will fall apart. Star systems will break, planets will be flung out of their orbits, and finally, even atoms will be torn apart. This scenario has a clear name: the Big Rip. It means the very fabric of the universe tearing, matter, light, time, everything dissolving. Some calculations suggest this catastrophe might occur in 22 billion years, but the truth is, no one knows, because we don't understand dark energy at all. Maybe the destruction has already begun, and our sense of time is just too limited to notice.
The cosmic weapons of the universe, gamma-ray bursts. And while dark energy is a danger of the distant future, there is something that could kill us far more quickly: a gamma-ray burst. This is the universe at its most violent. A massive star dies, collapses inward, explodes, and releases more energy than billions of stars combined. These explosions are so powerful that we can see them from billions of light years away. Think about that. Imagine the strongest nuclear bomb humanity has ever built. Now multiply its power by a number with 50 zeros after it. You would still not come close to a gamma-ray burst. But the real danger isn't its power, it's its precision. Unlike supernovas, gamma-ray bursts don't spread energy in all directions. They fire a narrow, deadly beam, like a cosmic flamethrower. And one of these beams were directed at Earth from within our galaxy.
our ozone layer would vanish in seconds. The atmosphere would turn toxic. The oceans would become acidic. Life would end. The moment we saw the flash of light, we would already be dead because it travels at the speed of light. Some scientists believe past mass extinctions may have been caused by gamma-ray bursts. Every night when you look at the stars, you are staring at thousands of cosmic weapons, most of them harmless, but some capable of turning against us at any moment.
WR-104, the silent threat beside the sun. Somewhere in the universe, an invisible clock is ticking. A star named WR-104 is like a cosmic bomb preparing to explode, bringing death 1 second closer with every rotation. WR-104 is a member of the Wolf-Rayet class, stars so massive and short-lived that they strip away their own outer layers. What remains is a burning, exposed stellar core surrounded by shells of gas erupting outward at millions of kilometers per hour. These are the death screams of the universe's largest stars. But what makes WR-104 truly terrifying isn't its size, it's the fact that its axis is pointed almost directly at Earth. When it finally becomes a supernova, it will almost certainly produce a gamma-ray burst. And that beam, like a bullet fired from 8,000 light years ago, could be aimed straight at us. If it explodes, the sky would brighten so intensely that nights would have shadows. We would see it during the day as a blue dot beside the sun. It would be a cosmic show unlike anything humanity has ever witnessed. But this beauty would be the beginning of the end. Gamma rays would erase our ozone layer within minutes. Plants would die. Ecosystems would collapse. The oceans would turn into chemical nightmares. The atmosphere would take decades to recover. Only radiation and a darkened planet would remain. And WR-104 is not alone. There are dozens of Wolf-Rayet stars near us, each powerful enough to sterilize entire worlds. This threat is terrifying because it is completely random. We don't know when they'll explode, we don't know where their death beams will point, and we can't stop any of it. All we can do is hope. But even WR-104 is not the deadliest predator in space.
Rogue black holes, the silent predators of the universe. In the darkness of space, there are cosmic creatures drifting with no light, no warning, and no mercy. We cannot see them, yet they can erase an entire solar system in a single move. These are rogue black holes. Unlike the giant, stable black holes that sit quietly at the centers of galaxies, these runaways are almost impossible to detect. They were once the hearts of massive stars, until a violent supernova kicked them into interstellar space like cosmic bullets. Now, with no anchor and no orbit, they wander between stars, silent, invisible hunters. Imagine one of them, 10 times the mass of the sun, compressed into a space smaller than a city district. No light, no heat, no warming. Drifting through space at hundreds of kilometers per second. If one were to slip into our solar system, the outer planets would be the first to drift. Uranus and Neptune would slowly veer off course. Then Jupiter, either thrown into the sun or ejected into deep space. And without Jupiter's gravitational shield, the asteroid belt becomes a shotgun aimed at the inner planets. Mars would be ripped from its orbit. Earth would begin to deform under the tidal forces. Mountains would fracture, continents would tremble, oceans would boil. Eventually, Earth would stretch apart like cosmic spaghetti and tear into pieces. And the worst part? We would never see it coming. A rogue black hole emits no light. We would only notice it when it starts tearing objects apart. By then, it would already be too late. Scientists estimate that millions of rogue black holes may exist in the Milky Way. One may even be passing through our solar system right now, and we would not know. Invisible bullets roam the sky, and we don't even know if we are the target.
The universe's final curtain, heat death. All these cosmic threats are only the middle of the story. The true ending is far darker. One day, every star will burn out. The last black holes will evaporate. Atoms themselves will decay. What remains will be a cold, endless, expanding void. This final state has a name: the heat death of the universe. One day, energy will be so evenly spread that nothing can move. No process can occur. No life can survive. No star can shine. Even time itself becomes meaningless, because without change, there is no time. All of humanity's story, every memory, discovery, love, victory, will be erased in the darkness of maximum entropy. But this end lies trillions of years in the future. The universe is already drifting toward its finale, and we are nothing more than a brief flash in that enormous story.
Beyond black holes, from evaporation to vacuum collapse. In the darkest corners of the universe, black holes slowly die. Yes, even they are not eternal. Hawking radiation eats away at them bit by bit, but this process is so slow that the universe's current age, 13.8 billion years, is less than a single second compared to the time required for the largest black holes to disappear. When the last black hole evaporates, the cosmic journey is far from over. What follows is far quieter and far more merciless. With no stars, no black holes, no complex matter left, only isolated particles drift through space, spread so thinly that two particles might never meet again. Time dies. Matter dies. Nothing in the universe can move or interact. Eventually, even protons may decay. What remains is photons, neutrinos, and a few lonely particles, forever separated in an expanding darkness. This is heat death. And the frightening part, it isn't a possibility. It's a prediction straight from the laws of physics. The universe is slowly, quietly, walking toward its final, silent end. But fate may not wait that long, because there is a threat far closer and far more sudden. Vacuum decay, a bubble and the end of everything.
When you look around, you see empty space, but that emptiness is boiling with invisible energy fields, fields that determine particle masses, force strengths, and even the flow of time. And here comes the nightmare. Physicists have long suspected that our universe might be stuck in the wrong energy state, a false vacuum. What does that mean? Imagine a sheet of paper that looks flat, but has a tiny bubble under its surface. That bubble could pop at any moment. If somewhere in the universe, even in a region smaller than an atom, a patch of true vacuum forms, it would expand like a bubble at the speed of light. And everything in its path, stars, planets, atoms, space, time, would simply stop existing. No warning, no light, no escape. When the bubble reaches us, electrons detach or collapse into nuclei. Atoms cease to function. Matter dissolves. Planets don't explode, they melt into nothing, all in an instant.
How vacuum decay would consume the universe. If you could watch from the outside, you'd see an expanding sphere of absolute darkness, a boundary where physics itself has died. Inside the bubble, the laws of nature have been rewritten. Nothing behaves the same. The moment it hits a star system, stars dissolve. Planets lose chemical structure. Molecules fall apart as their bonds fail. Protons, neutrons, electrons lose their familiar identities. This is not an explosion. It is the spread of a new reality. A universe rewriting itself, erasing our version of physics completely. Nothing can stop it. Not stars, not black holes, not any technology imaginable.
The universe will never be the same. Here is the most chilling possibility. The collapse may have already begun, and since the bubble expands at light speed, we would learn about it at the exact moment we cease to exist. The universe may end in trillions of years through heat death, or it may end today, right now, in the instant you read the sentence, through vacuum decay. Both are possible. Both may be inevitable. Inside a vacuum decay bubble, life doesn't die by fire or radiation. It dies because reality itself stops working. Time, matter, distance, energy, all become meaningless. From the outside, it looks like a cosmic implosion. From the inside, it feels like nothing.
The storm hidden in the sun, a force that could erase civilization in minutes. Amid all these cosmic nightmares, the closest threat is actually the most familiar one, the sun. Behind the warm glow that touches our faces each day lies a colossal fusion engine balanced on a razor's edge, and sometimes that balance almost slips. Inside the sun lives a magnetic monster. Every 11 years, its magnetic field lines twist, tangle, stretch like a cosmic bowstring pulled too tight, until one day it snaps with a sharp, invisible crack. That snap has a name: a solar flare. These flares release more energy in 20 minutes than all of humanity uses in an entire year. Shine so bright they can be seen from Earth, and most of the time they're only the beginning. The true disaster comes from a coronal mass ejection, a CME, a massive blast in which the sun hurls billions of tons of plasma into space, wrapped in a planet-sized magnetic wave. This monstrous plasma cloud can be larger than Jupiter, travels at millions of kilometers per hour, and can tear apart a planet's magnetic field in a single impact. The sun can shift from calm to lethal in minutes, and our warning time? Just a few hours. We can detect asteroids years in advance, but a solar storm? It arrives without mercy. History has already shown us what this looks like. The Carrington event of 1859. Back then, the world only had telegraphs. Lines burst into flames, operators were shocked by their equipment, and auroras appeared as far south as the Caribbean. Now imagine the same event today. Electrical grids across continents would burn out, the backbone of the internet would collapse, satellites would fry and die, GPS, communication, banking, and aviation would halt. Modern civilization would plunge back into the Middle Ages within hours. And the scariest part? The sun is perfectly capable of doing this. It follows cycles, yes, but its chaos is far greater than its patterns. It can remain quiet for centuries and then plunge our world into darkness with a single eruption. One morning, you wake up. Your phone won't turn on. Lights won't work. There's no power outage. The entire electrical infrastructure has died. While a spectacular aurora dances across the sky, civilization collapses in silence. This isn't a sci-fi scenario. It's statistically inevitable. The only question is, when?
The sun's dark side, how the modern world could collapse in minutes. Imagine it. Life support machines in thousands of hospitals suddenly shutting down. Food spoiling around the world as refrigeration systems fail. International trade, banking, the internet, gone instantly. This isn't fiction. These would be the first minutes of a major solar storm. When a massive CME strikes Earth, life support devices stop. Water pumps and sewage systems fail. Food distribution collapses, and stored food spoils without cooling systems. According to the National Academy of Sciences, a single extreme solar storm could cause over $2 trillion in damage in North America alone, with recovery taking years, not months. Modern society is like a skyscraper, built of steel, but supported by fragile sheets of glass. If one shatters, the rest fall with it.
Silent killers in the sky. The death of satellites. When a CME hits Earth, its first victims are not people, but satellites. Hundreds of satellites in orbit would burn out instantly. GPS collapses. Airplanes go blind. Telecom satellites die. Phones and internet vanish. Weather satellites go dark. Storms become unpredictable. Banking systems freeze. Electronic transactions stop everywhere. We live in an electronic age, orbiting a star that knows how to wipe it clean. Today's electronics are unbelievably fragile. If the Carrington event happened now, entire continents would fall into darkness. Servers, modems, and transformers would be permanently destroyed. The backbone of the internet would collapse completely. The global economy would grind to a halt in days. And the most terrifying truth? We cannot stop the sun. We can only wait and hope.
Stones from the sky, millions of bullets aimed at Earth. Don't think the sun is our only threat. The sky is filled with rocks and ice bullets waiting to strike. Right now, over 28,000 asteroids pass near Earth's orbit, and we've only discovered half. These objects move so fast, a rifle bullet would look frozen next to them. The rock that erased the dinosaurs was the size of a mountain. The asteroid that hit Earth 66 million years ago measured 10 kilometers across, a small mountain. The impact hit at 43,000 miles per hour, released energy equal to several billion nuclear bombs, created a 90-kilometer crater, blocked out the sun for months, halted photosynthesis, wiped out 75% of life on Earth, all from one rock. Today, we are far more fragile. The dinosaurs were unlucky, but we might be worse off because humans are concentrated in megacities. Agriculture depends on global supply chains. Society collapses in days without fuel, water, and electricity. A single asteroid just half a mile wide could end global agriculture, collapse supply chains, and starve billions within months, fill the atmosphere with dust, trigger years of darkness. We don't need a dinosaur killer asteroid to end civilization. Today, it takes much less. The Tunguska example, a stone only 60 meters wide. The meteor that exploded over Siberia in 1908 was only 60 meters across, yet it flattened 800 square miles of forest,
released the energy of 1,000 nuclear bombs. If a similar explosion occurred over a modern city today, millions would die instantly, and the global economy would spiral into chaos.
Hidden approaches. Asteroids coming from the sun's blind spot. The most dangerous asteroids are the ones hidden in the sun's glare. We can barely see them. Many approach undetected. Others follow eccentric orbits, invisible for centuries, only appearing months before impact, if we're lucky. Comets, the fastest bullets in the universe. Asteroids are dangerous, but something far worse exists. Long-period comets from the Oort cloud, frozen mountains sleeping 50,000 times farther from the sun than Earth. A passing star, a black hole's pull, a galactic ripple, even a tiny nudge can send them plunging inward. As they fall, they accelerate, surpassing 100,000 miles per hour, releasing 4 times the energy of an asteroid on impact, arriving from completely random directions. We detect many only weeks after they begin glowing, which means far too late. The silent killers of the skies, comets, frozen bullets. Unlike asteroids, comets explode as they approach the sun, shedding dust, ice, and toxic gases, leaving behind million-kilometer-long tails. If Earth were to pass through one, our atmosphere would be bombarded by high-speed particles. The ozone layer would tear open. Toxic gases would fill the sky. Atmospheric chemistry would collapse. The surface would be flooded with deadly radiation. The most disturbing part? Comets are completely unpredictable. There are more than 1 trillion in the Oort cloud. Any one of them could be knocked inward at any moment. A passing star, a rogue black hole, galactic tides could hurl thousands of them toward the inner solar system at once. No defense system could handle that. History bears their scars. The giant Chesapeake Bay crater may have been caused by a comet impact, triggering climate disasters that wiped out ancient marine life. And the worst ones? The hidden comers. Some comets have orbits so vast they appear only once every millions of years. We see them only when they finally approach the sun, giving us weeks, sometimes days. Nowhere near enough time to prepare. One of the largest ever observed, Hale-Bopp, has a 25-kilometer core and passes near Earth every 4,000 years. A tiny gravitational disturbance could alter its path. If it struck Earth, millions of nuclear bombs worth of energy, decades of nuclear winter-level darkness, global collapse. And Hale-Bopp is just one of hundreds of millions. Some are likely falling toward the sun right now from beyond Pluto's icy shadow. If one is coming toward Earth, our bank accounts, satellites, and telescopes won't see it until it's far too late. This is why the sky is not silent. Beneath the quiet, billions of potential death stones wait. Yet even all of these pale in comparison to the most terrifying inhabitants of the cosmic dark.
Magnetars, the cosmic gods of dead stars. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. A star so massive that when it dies, it doesn't fade into darkness. It compresses itself into a 12-kilometer sphere of pure neutron matter. Yes, only 12 kilometers, but it contains more mass than our entire sun. And this thing spins 30 times per second. Around it rages a magnetic storm trillions of times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. This is not a star. This is a magnetar, one of the most violent, dangerous, and incomprehensible objects in the universe. How does a magnetar form? When a giant star dies, it explodes in a supernova. For most stars, that's the end. But for a rare few, this is only the beginning. The leftover core collapses so violently that atoms are crushed, electrons merge with protons, the known structure of matter collapses, a remnant made entirely of neutrons is born. A single teaspoon of magnetar matter would weigh more than Mount Everest. This density breaks the limits of physics, but the true horror lies in its magnetic field. The strongest force in the universe, magnetar magnetism. A magnetar's magnetic field is so powerful, it can tear apart atoms from hundreds of kilometers away. It can rip electrons from their nuclei. It can create matter from empty space. It bends the path of light. It warps the geometry of space-time itself. The strongest magnet on Earth, 45 Tesla. A typical magnetar, 100 trillion Tesla. A force beyond imagination. Magnetar storms, cosmic doomsday cracks. When a magnetar's magnetic field lines stretch too far, they snap, like a cable breaking under tension. That snap unleashes a blast. In 0.1 seconds, it releases more energy than our sun produces in 100,000 years. This is called a magnetar flare. In December 2004, a magnetar 50,000 light-years away erupted. Its energy was so intense that it ionized Earth's upper atmosphere, disrupted radio communication, and shook our satellites. Yet that blast only brushed us. If a magnetar within 10,000 light-years erupted at full power, all electronics would burn out, Earth's atmosphere would collapse, and the planet would become sterile. There are dozens of magnetars in our galaxy. Some are close enough. And the worst part? They give no warning. They're not predictable like supernovae. They're not staged like gamma-ray bursts. A magnetar simply becomes unstable for a moment and unleashes the deadliest flash in the cosmos. Magnetar apocalypse, a death that even light cannot shield you from. When a magnetar erupts, the damage goes far beyond energy. Its magnetic field becomes so intense that the fundamental forces holding atoms together begin to fail. The burst is not a thunderous explosion. It is a silent, invisible wave of death capable of sterilizing planets thousands of light-years away.
The lightning of 2004, a universe-shaking 0.1 second flash. That 2004 flare lasted a fraction of a second, released more energy than 100,000 years of sunlight, bent Earth's magnetic shield, ionized the atmosphere, disrupted global communication. And that was from 50,000 light-years away. If the same magnetar had been just 1,000 light-years distant, the energy would have been 2,500 times stronger, wiping out Earth's ozone layer and extinguishing all life in a single wave. Not heat, but DNA shattering. A magnetar's death beam does not burn, it does not feel warm. It is invisible, but its gamma radiation penetrates deep into the body, reaches the cells, breaks DNA bonds, extinguishes life at the molecular level. It reaches the ocean floor. It destroys everything. Life doesn't die from fire. It dies because the chemistry that holds it together disintegrates. The sky turns brown. Atmospheric collapse. After a magnetar flare, nitrogen and oxygen molecules are torn apart. Toxic nitrogen oxides form, the ozone layer collapses, the sky becomes a dark, poisonous haze. The atmosphere cannot recover for months. Sunlight hits Earth unfiltered. Life cannot return. Magnetic shock waves, a force that breaks matter's core. A magnetar does not only emit radiation, it sends out a magnetic quake. This wave creates massive currents in every metal object, overheats and destroys all electronics, fries satellites, melts power grids, even disturbs Earth's molten core. Earth's magnetic field could remain destabilized for centuries, altering climate and shifting the poles.
Magnetars, the cosmic handguns. Scientists believe magnetar-induced mass extinctions may occur every few million years. Rock layers on Earth show radiation scars supporting this idea. And the most frightening truth? Magnetars never warn us. They wait in silence. Then, in an instant, they shoot a beam traveling at light speed. Dozens exist in our galaxy. Some are close enough. And we would only realize it at the exact moment we die, because the first warning is always the beam itself. The Big Rip, the universe's final breath. Magnetars are threats within our galaxy, but the universe itself may be preparing a far more dramatic ending. It's called the Big Rip, a future where the universe expands so violently that not only galaxies, but atoms are torn apart. This is the ultimate victory of dark energy. The collapsed timeline of the universe. Galaxy clusters fall apart. Dark energy overpowers the gravity holding clusters together. Galaxies dissolve. Stars can no longer orbit their centers. The Milky Way tears apart. The solar system unravels. Dark energy defeats the sun's gravitational hold. Earth is flung into the dark. Other planets follow. Planets shatter. Dark energy becomes stronger than the forces holding planets together. Earth cracks like an eggshell. Atoms break. Dark energy destroys electromagnetism, the strong nuclear force, all fundamental bonds. Electrons escape. Nuclei disintegrate. Matter ceases to exist. Then space-time itself tears apart. The final moments of the Big Rip. When expansion reaches infinite speed, gravity fails, chemical bonds dissolve, molecules fall apart, even atomic forces surrender. The oceans split into atoms, cells break apart, DNA unwinds. Life ends not by heat or radiation, but because the forces allowing existence simply stop working. Finally, electrons detach, protons disintegrate, quarks drift into separate regions of space, expanding faster than light. Matter loses identity.
Space and time collapse. When no 2 points can remain connected, distance becomes meaningless. Light cannot travel. Information cannot move. Cause and effect break. Time stops. The universe reaches a mathematical division by zero moment, a singularity occurring everywhere at once, not in a black hole, but in the entire universe. 22 billion years, maybe less. Current measurements suggest this cosmic destruction may occur in 22 billion years, but since dark energy remains mystery, it could happen sooner or later. But the terror of the Big Rip lies here. Nothing remains. Not matter, not light, not space, not time, not even the concept of existence. The collapse of physics itself. As the Big Rip approaches, our ability to measure reality collapses first. A meter cannot exist in a universe where space stretches infinitely each second. The ruler doesn't change, space does. Velocity, time, energy all lose meaning. Even the speed of light becomes irrelevant. And then, the fundamental constants of physics fail. Light vanishes. As expansion accelerates, galaxies disappear, stars fade, even objects in our homes lose their connection to light. Light cannot complete its journey. Its wavelength becomes infinite. Its energy drops to zero. The universe becomes invisible. The final microsecond.
doomsday inside matter. In the final instant, a proton's left and right sides separate faster than light. Electrons cannot orbit. Particles cannot exist in one place. Identity collapses. Every part of the universe is isolated from every other. And then, in a moment with no duration, space, time, and physics vanish. The final boundary of science. Beyond this point, there is no time, no space, no matter, no physics, no observation, no science. Because nothing remains to observe. The universe becomes unthinkable because nothing is left to think about. But maybe it has already begun. Recent observations paint a disturbing picture. The universe's expansion is accelerating. Gamma ray bursts are more frequent. Magnetar candidates are increasing. Space remains silent. No civilizations anywhere. The sun shows signs of unusually strong eruptions. New hazardous asteroids are discovered every week. The Higgs field may be metastable. Earth's climate system is rapidly destabilizing. All the data points to one conclusion. The universe may have entered an era of instability. Not just humanity, the cosmos itself may be leaving its stable phase. Threats are not approaching one by one. They're converging. And the final question becomes, which one will reach us first? And when it does, will we be ready?